Hello and welcome back to another episode with International Mentoring Center, where we continue to pursue our mission to empower mentors and mentees worldwide by fostering a community of learning, growth, and professional development. At IMC, we believe that mentorship is one of the most powerful tools for personal and professional transformation. And through this platform, industry experts and leaders can share insights, knowledge, and best practices to elevate global awareness on mentoring standards. My name is Ira, and I will be your host. Our speaker today is a globally recognized leadership expert, ICF PCC coach, transformative strategist with over 30 years of experience leading business growth, cultural transformation, and executive development across diverse industries. He is a trusted advisor to CEOs and helps organizations lead with clarity and resilience in a bandy world, building agile strategies and high-trust cultures that thrive in constant change. Let us all welcome our guest speaker, Dominik Szot.
Hello, everybody. I'm happy to be with you here today. Thank you for joining this community, ERA, and thank you for helping me today. So we are going to discuss the matter of leadership in turbulent times. Let's go to my presentation. Can you see it?
Yes, we can.
Great. So we're going to go through resilient leadership and culture transformation in times of change, as I've started. And we'll be focusing on the matters of empowering mentors with leadership, clarity, and growth, strengthening organizations through strategic transformation, and building resilience for crisis management and adaptability. What is a strong company culture? What kind of leadership is needed here? What is a black swan and how to fly it? What makes a strong business model? What values have in common with behaviors? What is agile leadership and why stakeholders matter so much? At the end, what kind of communication always wins? This is the list of questions for today. My name is Dominik Szot. I'm the global entrepreneur and executive coach. I'm also a mentor specialized in agile management. As you can see, I have over 25 years experience in my own company. It will be 26 this May, which is MIA. And I am also a certified coach by Marshall Goldsmith Stakeholder-Centered Coaching, and I'm a PCC coach of ICF and also professional Scrum Master Level 1. And I'm also an HBR advisor. So what makes me also different is I'm a clean coach, and I'm the first clean coach in Poland certified by the English Institute of Management and Leadership. So this is like a combination of my entrepreneurship and coaching skills that help me better manage my company. I made a note to myself to make sure I never lost sight of the value of a tribe, where people truly felt connected and cared about the well-being of one another. This is about Tony Siech, the founder of Zappos. We'll talk about Zappos. So we have in details explained what this presentation was about, so no worries. So I will explain just quickly in the next slide. It will be the third one from now, so you'll see exactly what the presentation was about, and the link is here, so you can see it afterwards. So what is the national culture, and what are the common elements of the national culture? First thing is environment and survival strategies. So the common work with clear purpose. It's the same in Europe, Africa, and Greenland. It's varied environments allowed for agriculture, permanent settlements, and technological development in Europe. It's semi-nomadic, post-ruralistics. Their culture is shaped by cattle herding, with cattle being central to diet. And the Greenland Inuit, they have the harsh, icy climate led to a culture centered around cooperation. So there is also social organization rules, which is a structured approach. Historically, feudal and class-based structures evolved into more institutionalized governments, bureaucracies, and individual rights in Europe. In Africa, age-set system defining rules, warriors, elders with strong clan and gender roles, and egalitarian structures with flexible leadership and strong emphasis on family and group harmony. So there's also beliefs and worldview, shared values, influenced heavily by Christianism in Europe, later by secularism, science, and enlightenment values like rationalism and individualism. There's also monotheistic belief in Enkai, God, by the Africanian Maasai, and there is also animism, shamanism in Greenland by the Inuits. So this is about national culture. How about company culture now? Company culture is the foreground, what people do together, how they perform and adapt through mission, systems, and behaviors. Whereas National culture provides the background, what people expect, how they interact in communication style, hierarchy, and time orientation. Time orientation is about long run and short run. So are they going to focus on things that are more future oriented, like a long distance things, or are they more focused on things that are today? Shared understanding, behavioral norms, and ways of working, this is something in common that connects both national culture and company culture. And while national culture shapes our values, the company culture transforms those values into action. National culture is more about our values, which are more in our hearts, in ourselves, and company culture is more about action. What great companies do, they bridge the two. They align the shared identity, where we come from, with the shared purpose, where we are going to go. And this is the example how it practically works. So let's have a look at X, the former Twitter. X offers free meals and continuing education, stipends, fostering a collaborative and team-oriented environment. Whereas Adobe trusts employees with challenging projects and supports them with stock options and a stress-reducing work environment. There are three common priorities for all of them. The first is focus on employee well-being. The second is strong emphasis on culture and values. And the third is investment in professional growth. So this is what makes them different. The question is if offering free meals is the real exemplification of the great company culture. Not really. I'm getting back to Zappos and the movie that we haven't seen so far. Zappos is the company specialized in shoe sales, and the success relies on certain principles of their operations. So they have taken a couple of strategic decisions. The first one is customer service, which would build our brand and to drive word of mouth. So the customer service is for everybody. It's not only for people from the sales, it's for everybody in the company. They have the culture, which would lead to the formation of their core values. And the core values are deliver wow through service, embrace and drive change, create fun and little weirdness, be adventurous, creative, and open-minded, push growth and learning, build open and honest relationships with communication, build a positive team and family spirit, do more with less, be passionate and determined, be humble. So what these values produce is also actions in everyday work. So these actions are hiring for culture, 5 weeks of training, $2,000 to quit during this training, because Zappos wants only those people stay in the company who are really committed and want to work with them. And there's a culture book, a special tool they have developed in order to let every employee be involved in the culture development and say everything they want to say about their challenges and also their happiness from working or with working in this company. And there's also employees engagement on X and other social media. So the company supports all of these engagements and unifies them, helps them work together. At the end, this employee training and development, which is for everyone in the company, and this 5-week training is devoted to these people who really want to stay in the company. When they don't want to stay, they get paid $2,000. At the beginning of the company, 3% of the recruiters choose this way and they left the company. After 2 years, it was 1%. Now it's almost nobody. So only people who really want to work there stay there. There is Zappos leadership behind it, servant leadership. And quoting the words of Tony Sieg, the best leaders are those that lead by example and are both team followers as well as team leaders. We believe that in general, the best ideas and decisions are made from the bottom up, meaning by those on the front lines that are closest to the issues and or the customers. The role of a manager is to remove obstacles and enable her direct reports to succeed. This means the best leaders are servant leaders. They serve those they lead. So we'll get to servant leadership a couple of times. What is being served in servant leadership? First, a balance between allowing followers to flourish and ensuring the mission stays on track. Avoiding micromanagement or hands-off approach, internship programs promoting team members' ownership with support, mentoring and re-evaluating progress, maintaining the organization direction and growth, enforcing necessary corrections, foresight and anticipation to anticipate trends and potential barriers, shared responsibility, common decision-making, promoting stewardship through continued education opportunities, and incentives to improve employee skills, and guiding followers by their leaders to discover strengths and weaknesses to foster the growth from within the organization. Legacy programs where servant leaders practically pass down knowledge, skills, and wisdom to the next generation of leaders. Prioritizing serving others, and ensuring a lasting legacy for the organization by focusing on long-term goals. Long-term organizational success demonstrated through leaders modeling how they contribute by their own best example. This is from the book, The Power of Servant Leadership by Robert Greenleaf, the founder of Servant Leadership. Let's get to my company. So I started in 1999. As you can see, there are 5 stages of company development. These are the HBR named 5 stages of development. The first is existence, when we focus on gaining customers. So you see these are the 3 first years, 2002. Then managing cash flow, stabilizing operations, and building a reliable core team. So it started here. Then success, choose between sustaining profitability or scaling further, and delegating wisely. When you want to delegate, you need to have a certain staff to delegate to. So you need to have certain people. Then at the end, navigate rapid growth, develop leaders, and protect culture under pressure. You can see the pressure here because this was the first crisis, financial crisis in 2009 and 2009. You can see it. You can also see here the drop in profits because these are the revenues and these are the profits. This in Polish zloty. So if you divide it by 4, you have it in dollar. And there is resource maturity, which is pretty long, as you can see. Institutionalize strategy, maintain agility, and lead through vision. Blindly, I will explain why. And now it's clearly, it's the same story, but you know exactly what is happening. So now you can see what was happening in every stage. Building the core value, mission, vision, client. The first client was here. Then we had 2 clients. The second client came in 2002. Then we have 20 clients, 60 clients. And then we started rebuilding the company, having sport activities development, eliminating weak links, and also eliminating operations that were not profitable. There was also pretty big client rotation during this time. What happened here? As you can see, what culture was focused on. At the beginning, it was security of the business, as you see, existence. Then was stability, because we wanted to survive and have a stable position with the cash flow. Then we have preparations for success, okay, because it was already started to grow. It has already started to grow pretty fast. And then we had growth. So despite problems that we have in the financial crisis and this big loss here, the company started growing, as you can see, extremely high, extremely fast. This hasn't helped us because we haven't been prepared for this kind of fast growth. So what happened was the verification phase here, because the preparation was not good enough. And then there was a fall, as you can see. And the fall lasted a couple of years, almost a decade. And it finished with the second financial crisis, which was during the COVID. But at the end, he generated the biggest profits during the entire history, as you can see, in 2002 and 2003. And it was because of trust. What changed? I changed as a founder of this company. I changed as a leader. I started living by real company values. I started inviting people to manage by sharing the vision. And I also implemented agile management development. So this was the change. The change was trust as a fundament of our culture. What happened during these times you have seen, but why we survived at the end. The first was resilience. So as you can see, there are 7 points of resilience. So every entrepreneur in the world is most probably resilient. Everyone who has achieved their goals during their life and brought to the end what they have planned at the beginning. It's because of their resilience. They know what their ABC is. So when they are confronted with a problem or challenge, they listen to their thoughts and they identify what to say to themselves when they face challenges. So in order to say, sorry, I need to stop, they say, what do I need to change now? What do I need to change in my thinking? What do I need to do differently? Avoiding thinking traps. When something goes wrong, they don't go for mistakes. They go for solutions and they try to correct mistakes as fast as possible. Then they are detecting icebergs, identifying their deepest beliefs and determining when they are working for them and when not. So when thoughts start working against me, I'm trying to understand what is happening and find the way of thinking that really supports me and helps me develop and grow. I'm not dwelling in problems anymore. Challenging beliefs. Test the accuracy of your beliefs about problems and how to find solutions that work. So don't focus on problems, as I said at the beginning, focus on solutions. Putting it in perspective. Stop the what ifs so that you're better prepared to deal with problems that really do exist and are most likely to occur. So don't go too much into visualizing what could happen. Simply focus on reality and be open. Calming and focusing is about staying calm and focused whatever comes our way. Whatever comes our way could be solved, what comes our way could be omitted, could be changed, could be destroyed. So we can always move forward. And real-time resilience. Quickly change your counterproductive thoughts into more resilient ones with immediate results. Is it enough? No. Because one day, as in 2008 and 2009, there is a time where black swans come. So when the black swans come, this is not enough. So what is enough? When there are adversities. So do hard things. This is the first thing. So the hard things is about, as Nietzsche said, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. The question is really, will it make you stronger? There is one condition. It will make you stronger when you learn from it and learn quickly. The next thing is when you like adversities, and when you also like challenges, and when you like uncertainty, then you are on a good way to find yourself in a black swan development. So there is a saying in America, when you get a lemon, so when the world gives you a lemon, you make a lemonade. So most probably during all these economical changes now, taxes imposed on so many countries, most probably we'll have another black swan. So it will be windy. It will be most probably very windy. So what do you need to do when there is wind? So when world gives you wind, like it gave you lemonade, what will you make with this wind? Will you go in the basement and try? Or will you make a windmill? Or will you buy a kite? Or will you use this wind to blow your direction and to use it the best, to use it for your business, for your development, and to be happy with this? Go through life as flaneur. What is this? The daughter of my wife just went to Mexico a couple of days ago. Without friends, without big plans, just went there for a couple of weeks without big preparations. Is she a tourist? I think she isn't. Tourists go with guides, plans. They are happy when they are guided, and they are happy when they are prepared and they know everything about the surroundings they are in. Anushka didn't do it. She went there unprepared. She's happy, she moves forward, and she lives by discovering new opportunities. This is not about the tourists. This is about the flaneur. And this is the way of living that helps you manage any kind of circumstance that you meet during times of black swans. Develop anti-education. It's about education, like Mark Twain once said, I will never let the school get away from my education, which means we are directed by the schools to go into one direction. And we don't develop our true skills because we don't know them. So once we learn what our real skills are, what our real talents are, who we really are, then we really can move forward. Live by anti-fragile philosophy. What is anti-fragile philosophy? It's about stoicism. And what is this exactly about? So you can feel fear, okay? You can feel fear, but what does it make at the end when you feel fear? Nothing. You are fearsome. You will not do very much. So instead of Stoics, feel prudence. Instead of pain, Stoics find information. Instead of mistakes, they try to initiate things, and instead of desires, they go for undertaking. So this is about anti-fragile philosophy, which is about questioning, which is about development, which is about finding opportunities everywhere we can find them. So when world gives you lemon, make lemonade. When world gives you a black swan, fly it. New business model of 2025 of my company. Value propositions at the end is something, this is the core, the fundament of every good business model. MIA accelerates client store business. We are a shop fitting company. So we are doing it, but efficient design execution, manufacturing acceleration, and ultra fast installation processes. Pre and after sales client support. What does it make at the end? What does it produce at the end? So the faster, this expression involves quicker project execution. So people are happier because they can open their shops much faster. They're opening stores all around the world 2 times faster than normally because we are working with them on every part of their shop fitting process, from the design story at the beginning to the fitting story at the end, through the production story in the middle. So every part of this process is subject of our curiosity. What could be improved? What could be made better, faster, cheaper, and more interesting for our end customers? So the people that are visiting their stores are simply happier. So over the years, this value proposition was not the heart of the company. For the last couple of years, I have invited every person in my company to take part in the value proposition development and creation. So it's also created by our bookkeeping. So our accountants also create value propositions by making the paperwork for the clients easier. So this is something that also is a point of interest of our colleagues. Let's go to the values. So I've started with values and why these values are so important and what they have in common with behaviors. So these are 9 EMC values. So International Mentoring Center has mindset for continuous learning and development, ethical mentoring practice and adherence of IMC guidelines, effective communication, relationship building and maintenance, co-creating learning agreements and setting clear expectations, designing and planning learning strategies, commitment to enabling learning and growth, competition evaluation and feedback integration, organization integration and advocacy. So they have these 9 values. And these values are alive only when the company values, when all of those values are reflected in their employees' behaviors who create their coherent culture. So at the end, mentors like me also are expected to demonstrate these values at work. I have focused here on 3 of them, which is mindset for continuous learning, relationship building and maintenance, and organization integration advocacy. Each of them has got certain markers in terms of behavioral indicators that demonstrate these values. So as you can see, mindset for continuous learning and development maintains an ongoing personal development plan, keeps informed about industry trends, reflects on personal biases and continuously improves. Skills demonstrates commitment to growing mentoring skills, identifies knowledge and skill gaps, invites feedback to enhance practice, learns new processes, methods, and technologies, strives to be a thought leader, maintains credentials through continuing education. So when these behaviors are in place, when they are demonstrated on a daily basis, then this value is alive. So my question about X company is about the first, what kind of leader needs to be there on site in order to demonstrate these company values? So the question is about Elon Musk. What is he doing today with regard to the company values of X? This is the question. MIA company values are in Polish SPON. Respect, engagement, teamwork, responsibility, and persistence. Respect, appreciation, and respect to clients, colleagues, suppliers, and all partners. Playing the ball at work together with the team to surprise clients. This is engagement. All is one is none means supporting colleagues to best satisfy clients, which is responsibility. And we will satisfy the client and nothing can stop us during completion of our work. This is about persistence. And the first story is about me as a leader of this company. Do I demonstrate these values on a daily basis? Yes or not? So before I answer this question, I will go through one thing which is very important to understand everything, which is the character strengths. So VIA Institute of Character is an organization connected with positive psychology. It has been founded by Martin Seligman, which is one of the founders of positive psychology. And they focus on VIA character strengths test, which has already been done by more than 30 million people around the world. That's why I also used Europeans, Inuits, and Maasai people from Africa, because they also quote them as the same kind of values which are demonstrated on every continent in the world. So these 24 strengths that you can see here, creativity, curiosity, judgment, and all of others, they are divided into 6 branches, into 6 virtues, which is wisdom, courage, humanity, justice, temperance, and transcendence. And the most important question is for every one of us, which are the 5 of them, which are our signature values. So the signature values are about our character, about our characteristics, personal characteristics, are about our humanity, are about our way of living, are about everything what we are doing. They are about our identity. So when we know what our identity is, what our character is, we can move forward. When we understand also why we are different from others, why we're different than people that we meet, and what these differences are, and why some of them are more braver and more curious, and others are more fair or kind. So then we can build a unique characteristics of our organization, which in fact focuses on our strengths and forgets our weaknesses. It's not about being blind about our weaknesses. It's about using our strengths to better cope with our weaknesses and improve. And the question is now how and what to improve. A fish rots from the head down and it flourishes the same way. This is from Persia, I think. So as I started at the beginning, I'm a certified Marshall Grossman stakeholder-centered coaching leader and team coach. And this is about stakeholders. So leadership is not about leaders. Leadership is about the followers. So only the followers can decide what kind of leader you are, not the mirror you have in front of you. So if a leader wants to really understand what needs to improve in their work, in their behavior, in their way of leadership, they simply need to do one thing: ask. When they ask, they can understand. So the best way to ask is to go through 360. And when you organize a 360 assessment, and through this 360 assessment, you check where you are with all kinds of things that you would like to measure, then you will know through your stakeholders and with the help of your stakeholders, what kind of leadership at the end is expected for your organization, and most of all, for them, for the people you lead. So where the start of the leader's transformation begins? The start begins with aspiration. So first, the leader aspires, as you can see on the left side on this slide, aspire. So this little slide is about the leader decides to positively change, plans feedback from stakeholders. So he chooses 6 to 12 people around him, but they need to be in a direct communication, in a direct collaboration with them, with the leader, in order to truly understand and truly see exactly what kind of behaviors these leaders demonstrate on a daily basis. So when you work with somebody on a daily basis, you can see exactly how he behaves, how she behaves. And then when you know it, you can assess this guy, this lady in an assessment. So when this assessment has been done, they start to focus on 1 or 2 areas for growth. So they pick 1 or 2 areas when they are expected to change by their stakeholders, and then they commit to change. So the leader commits to growth journey and to stakeholders' involvement in coaching, which means that this guy, this lady, goes to their stakeholders and asks them for help in their transformation, because they need to see this transformation in their daily basis as well. So he changes, and they see this change on a daily basis. And how it works? So it works pretty easily. First, I go every month to my colleagues, and I ask them about discipline, because this is one thing that I need to learn, that I need to improve, and I need to be more focused on. So I ask, let's say my colleague, she works as an office manager, and I'm asking her, Ola, what would you like me to change this month in order to be more disciplined? And she's saying, for example, Dominik, I want you to be 5 minutes before the meeting starts. So this is the simple information. I want you to be 5 minutes before the meeting starts. I'm not asking anything. I'm saying, thank you. I have listened. I think about it, and I respond by doing, not by talking. So I need to be 5 minutes before every meeting, because she's observing me. She observes me on a daily basis. So then I change or I don't change. I change when I'm 5 minutes before the meeting starts. I don't change when I'm not 5 minutes before the meeting starts. Simple story. And at the end, there's a follow-up. And the follow-up is the observations of my colleagues. And the follow-up is also with the next 360, which will happen within 3 months from now. So after 3 months, they have seen me during all these meetings, and Ola has seen me that I was 5 minutes before or not. And then she gives me a mark, which is the behavior from always to never, what being disciplined for her really means. So this is about company culture. When I want the company culture to change, I need to firstly change myself as a leader. Without this change, the company will not change, and the company culture will not change either. And on the other hand, when I start to change, and when I really demonstrate that my behaviors change, then people see that they have influence on me, that they have influence on the organization, and they start to trust me. And there is this kind of psychological safety. They are saying, okay, Dominik, you are listening. I can hear and I can see that you are listening. So when they start observing that there is a change, they start following this change because there is a new pattern coming in the company. And this is how the culture transformation really works. And this is how the fish flourishes from the head down. So about communication at the end, people are ready to respond. And the regular communication of everybody is a Jackal's approach. Jackal's approach is listening to respond. I'm not listening to understand. There is a Giraffe's approach, Giraffe's perspective, which is completely different, as you can see. First, I'm listening to hear, to see, to feel, observe, and fully understand and support to help meet the most desired need, which means you have said something, you have also behaved in a way, you said it in a certain tone of voice, with a certain tone of voice, you said with a certain pace of voice, with a certain gesture and mimics, and I have analyzed everything that I have studied. So at the end, this information is the information about the message I have been informed about. And now what this message is about. Is this only text? Is this only textual content? Or is this also about me as a person? This is the approach. This is the approach on nonviolent communication by Marshall Rosenberg. And this is the process of nonviolent communication. So first, there's a behavioral observation. I'm a CCTV camera. I'm not interpreting what happened. I'm seeing and clarifying what happened. This is the first thing. So I can see you, that you are doing certain things, but I'm not interpreting what kind of things they are. You are simply writing something. Now I'm seeing what this message makes in me. So when you are writing a letter to your daughter during work time, the question is, what are you doing now? Because you are not working, you are writing a letter to your daughter. Or maybe you are writing a letter to your daughter. Something must have happened. So this is the emotional identification about me, myself. How am I going to interpret this information that I have just been given with my behavioral camera? So it's about a letter to her daughter in her work time. Something most probably must have happened with her, with the daughter. So my role as a leader is to understand what happened. When I understand what happened, then I can go with the solution to my own approach that I want to apply in this moment. So am I going to be helpful? Am I going to be stressful? Am I going to be a marshal? Am I going to be somebody who will be a sheriff? Or am I going to be someone who is going to help this girl because something must have happened with her? And this is about the feelings. So the feelings in me are about curiosity. So how am I going to welcome this message? What is happening within me? I'm angry because she's not working, but the way what to do is my decision. Am I going to respond very quickly, or am I going to respond when I understand what my needs and her needs? I want her to work, but I want her to stay in this company and be motivated. So I want to focus on what happened in order to generate the best possible solution for this situation. Okay? So meet the need is about need discovery. She needs to write a letter now because something must have happened. I want her to work now, but the question is, really? Maybe I can wait 5 minutes. Does it change the world? Does it change the situation? Not really. Maybe I should understand what has happened. Maybe I can go and help her. Maybe as a leader, I can be at her disposal. I can serve her to better solve this problem when she wants. And maybe I can help her even go home now because the situation could be really important for her. What it gives in response, most probably more engagement, more commitment, and more satisfaction, and at the end, more happiness because she has found understanding. And I also will be happier with the situation, what has been done. So request formulation at the end is when I understand my needs, when I understand her needs, I can request certain action. So this is about staying at work and finishing this letter. This is about helping her better find herself in this situation. This is about helping people grow. And this is about the better communication. And this is about everything which is around us as leaders. So today, meeting was about 3 things. Leaders can build strong company cultures amid geopolitical shifts by first, giving the best examples in their daily work and demonstrating behaviors aligned with company cultures. When they discover their character strengths, they can focus on them and they better use them in improving their areas for development. Marshall Goldsmith's stakeholder-centered coaching is to go to stakeholders and ask them for development. And nonviolent communication is another tool to better communicate, to understand everybody's needs, and to produce happiness in the company. Strengthening organization through strategy transformation is through a couple of tools. Welcoming the black swans with 4 skills that I have given you. Always looking for opportunities and modifying business models. So focusing on the value proposition and making it together with your employees. Building resilience for crisis management and adaptability requires a couple of tools, which is applying 7 ways of resilience that I have also presented you, being a servant leader, and working with clarity, integrity, and transparency. So whatever happens on your way in your leadership, always communicate it with clarity, integrity, and transparency, because your employees always want to know what is really happening. Thank you very much. So we are very hungry for your questions. When any one of you wants to contact me, I'm free. By clicking this QR code with your camera, you can connect with me. There's also my email address, and Ira will also give you more information about me in a couple of minutes. Thank you so much. So we are hungry for your questions.
Thank you, Dominik, for that very important presentation on resilient leadership and culture transformation. It was a very eye-opening presentation. I'm really grateful for your time today with us. So like Dominik said, we're hungry for your questions. We invite everybody to participate in our Q&A. If you have any questions, thoughts that may have resonated with you during Dominik's presentation, feel free to put them on the chat, and then we will address them. Or you can simply unmute your microphones, and then we'd love to talk to you. Let's see if we have questions on the chat. We have a question from Al Chan. What if the leader is power hungry and try to be a tyrant? How can he lead a powerful team?
So power hungry. So the question is, what kind of power hungry is that? So exactly, could you please specify what you mean by that?
No, example like now Donald Trump, he's after he ruling the second time, now he's trying to rule the whole world by imposing heavy tariffs. So what do you think about that? I mean, somebody who wants to control the whole world, but they take him back. Yep, go ahead.
It's again about understanding his behaviors and his needs. So what makes him think or want to control the entire world? So where is this need coming from? When we understand it, then we can communicate with them and help them, let's say, go for this direction, but also with emphasis for other people. So not only, being blinded by the power they have in front of them. So there is always a question of a discussion with them, because, we cannot stop people from doing things, but we can help them understand what could be done differently, and what kind of results they can gain by doing things in a bit different manner.
Do you mean that you have to hire outside help, like you outsource some other consultants or something to look into the leadership of the company? Because he's the top, like the top of the CEO, so nobody can control him, So is that to be the chairman need to outsource another company to look into the overall management of?
Not really. So maybe you can go to the stakeholders, because this is a simple story. When you organize a 360 assessment, and when you ask questions about power that you want to address, then this 360 assessment demonstrates exactly what kind of challenges this dealer is coping with. And then the story is about your HR department to discuss it with him, because when 10 people say that he's got challenges with power, then he's got challenges with power. And the story is pretty clear. So, you don't need to hire external consultants for this. You simply can organize it with your own HR department.
Thank you, Al, for that question. We have another one here. How can younger employee grow into an effective leader early in their career?
So this is a very open question. So because the question is, what kind of younger employee, what kind of effective leader, and what kind of career? So there are, a lot of possibilities here. So when it's more specified, that we can, find measurements and to describe this kind of growth path. So the question first is, which is the gap to be filled between today and tomorrow? So this is a simple story. When you want him to be an effective leader, or her to be an effective leader, so the question is, what does it practically mean? What kind of effectiveness is that? And this is in the future. So in the future, you have a description of effectiveness for the future. And today, you have a situation which he is in today. So when you define this gap between these two situations, between the present and between the future, you know exactly what the gap is about, what needs to be done next. Is it okay for you, Michelle?
Is that okay? Thank you. We have another one here. Can you share one way your organization has successfully maintained its culture amid external pressure and what works for you?
Let's go to COVID, because this was pretty fresh 5 years ago. So the first thing was uncertainty. We don't know what happens. You remember those times, right? So when it started in 2019, no one knew what will happen. No one knew, will it kill everyone or not, right? So it was, at the beginning, it was a kind of shock. And then people gathered together and they said, we want to find a solution. So all shops were closed. So we cannot do shop fitting, which is our core business, because there are no shops, right? So after the period of a couple of months when we need to stay at home in this quarantine, so when everyone was locked down, so after the lockdown time, we started working, but still there were no stores. Everything was closed. So we started looking for new activities. So I asked my colleagues at work, guys, what can we do now in order to do something at all? So not to stay and wait for something to happen, but to produce something, maybe completely change our way of business, maybe completely change our business, maybe do something completely different. So first, what they discovered was the need for all these appliances to protect from COVID. So masks, all these devices that dispose the liquid, that give you opportunities to clear your hands and to simply keep the distance. And we developed the entire range of products pretty quickly in order to deliver them to gasoline stations, grocery stores, and everything that could help people protect from the virus. So it was the first idea. The second was about electricity, because there was electricity, right? So everybody has got electricity. So we thought about the possibilities to use the sun energy and also to produce this kind of appliances and help people install them, because there was another growth in this market as well. So it was the next activity. The third one was 3D printing, because when we started development of the protection systems, the 3D printing was necessary to use it, and we didn't know how. So we developed 3D printing technology for this development, and now we use it in shop fitting industry as well. So this was the three categories of work that help people find the meaning, because in this positive psychology, there's a PERMA model. PERMA is about positive emotions, so you need to be happy. You need to be happy what you are doing. Then there's engagement, there is meaning, there is relationships, and there is achievements. So you need to give people something in order to feel of those 5 elements. When you do it, they are happy, they are engaged, and most of all, they have meaning for work. They have meaning to gather, to work together, and to move forward together. And this is something which is extremely important in the black swan situations. People need somebody who will say, it's okay, whatever it is. We will manage. We will make it.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Dominik. We have, I think this will be our last question. What is the best way to make a leader ready for mentoring? As in some cases, they don't agree.
This is a tricky question, because being ready for mentoring, I think people are always ready for mentoring. The question is about the question you will ask them. So because mentoring is about the knowledge. So you don't know something and you need to get it from someone. So this is why you need somebody who is more experienced, maybe more skilled, maybe more advanced in something. And then when you learn it, when you understand that you are missing this knowledge, then you become to be hungry. So the question is how to produce this hunger in someone who is not hungry. So the question is, what kind of sandwich, what kind of meal, what kind of interesting, curious story needs to be addressed in this situation in order to move them forward. Is it okay?
Such powerful words. Thank you so much, Dominik. And thank you for that question. And that wraps up our session for today. Thank you all for your participation and thoughtful questions. Special thanks to you, Dominik, for powerfully reminding us that trust, clarity, adaptability are not just ideals. They are a foundation for strong and future-ready organizations. So if you have any closing remarks before we close the session.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Dominik. To our audience, thank you, Dominik. To our audience, if you are an individual seeking mentoring credentials, or if you are a training provider seeking accreditations, please feel free to visit our website to know more. And if you are looking for an executive mentoring coach such as Dominik, please feel free to reach out to him on LinkedIn. And you can also see his website and his company on the link below. So we'll put it on the chat and you can feel free to reach out to him.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dominik. And thank you all so much for coming in and joining us today. We hope you found this session inspiring and it equips you with practical strategies to lead with purpose, foster resilience, and turn challenges into opportunities. Like Dominik said, when the world gives you a black swan, you fly. We hope you found this session inspiring and it fuels your commitment to fostering meaningful mentorships. Join us again next webinar as we continue to explore, connect, and empower each other. Thank you so much, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Dominik.